Are you overwhelmed, feeling like a bad parent amidst the chaos? Sarah certainly was, seeing only failure in her messy kitchen. But her son Ben taught her a powerful lesson about joy and presence. Discover how to silence self-doubt, embrace the beautiful imperfections of parenting, and truly understand what it means to be a perfect mom. You're doing better than you think. Sarah stood frozen in the doorway of the kitchen.
Yogurt was smeared across the linoleum floor, a toppled sippy cup leaked a pale puddle over a messy stack of mail, and bits of banana clung to Ben's high chair. To anyone else, it was just a messy kitchen after a toddler's lunch.
To Sarah, it was the physical embodiment of her failure as a mother. Earlier, she had scrolled through Instagram and saw perfect mum influencers. Then, as a familiar wave of anxiety bubbled up inside her. I can't even handle one little boy, she thought. Her throat tightened, a lump rising as she felt that familiar sting of self-doubt. How could she be so disorganized, so overwhelmed, when all she wanted was to be the perfect mum, the kind who made every moment meaningful and every corner of her home sparkle? She slumped against the counter, shoulders heavy, the silence of the kitchen pressing down on her. Was she missing the point? Was she failing at this parenting thing? Tears pricked and spilled down as she felt the weight of inadequacy. From the floor, a tiny voice, breaking through her fog of worry. Ben sat amid the chaos, unconcerned by the mess. His chubby legs kicked happily as he pointed at the biggest globs of yogurt with a wide, curious smile. With intense concentration, he dipped his finger into the sticky dollop and pressed it onto the linoleum. Carefully, he traced a wavy line, his face lighting up with simple joy. Then he looked up at Sarah, eyes glowing with pride over his little artwork, and clapped his hands. Right then, the story Sarah had been telling herself shattered like glass. Ben wasn't seeing a disaster zone or evidence of her failure. He wasn't worried about a tidy kitchen or the perfect meal presentation. No, to Ben, the mess wasn't chaos. It was a canvas, an opportunity to create, to explore, to be joyous in the moment. And he was happy. Overwhelmed by a rush of love she hadn't realised had been buried beneath the anxiety, Sarah lowered herself to the floor beside her son. She smiled softly, her heart expanding as she dipped her own finger into the remaining yogurt. She drew a smiley face next to Ben's wavy line. The kitchen was still messy. The floor was still sticky. The mail was still soaked. But her mind had cleared, swept clean of harsh judgments and impossible ideals. In that moment, Sarah understood something profound. A perfect mum was not the one with a spotless kitchen or flawlessly presented meals. It was the one who was truly present, who could lean into the mess, find joy in the nonsense, and meet her child's happiness with an open heart. Together, Sarah and Ben sat on the cool floor, their fingers painting a messy masterpiece that spoke more of love and connection than any picture-perfect social media post ever could. And for the first time in a long time, Sarah felt perfectly at peace. The smiley face she drew looked back at her, reminding her that happiness could be found in the unlikeliest of places. She looked at Ben, his face smeared with yogurt and his eyes shining with joy, and realised that this was all that truly mattered. The mess didn't define her as a mother. Her love and presence did. With a renewed sense of purpose, Sarah started to clean up, but this time it felt different. It wasn't about achieving perfection. It was about creating a safe and loving space for Ben. She even let Ben help. as he smeared the counter with a damp cloth, knowing that these were the moments they would both cherish. As they worked together, the kitchen slowly transformed from a scene of chaos to a place of connection and love. The afternoon sun streamed in through the window, casting a warm glow on their faces, as if to say, "You're doing great, Mom." From that day on, Sarah learned to embrace the messy masterpieces of motherhood, finding joy in the imperfect moments and cherishing the simple connections with her son. She realized that the true masterpieces weren't the spotless homes or perfectly behaved children, but the love and laughter they shared in their perfectly imperfect world. And every time she felt the familiar pang of anxiety creeping in, she would remember the messy masterpiece on the kitchen floor and smile, knowing that she was doing just fine. She knew that as long as she was present, loving, and willing to embrace the chaos, she was, in fact, the perfect mum for Ben. Because in the end, the greatest masterpieces are the ones created with love, laughter, and a little bit of mess. And that, she knew, was a masterpiece worth more than all the spotless kitchens in the world. So, the next time you see a messy kitchen, remember Sarah and Ben. And remember that sometimes the greatest art is made in the messiest moments. Embrace the mess, embrace the love, and create your own messy masterpiece.